Joining me now, South Carolina Congresswoman, House Transportation and Infrastructure, House Oversight, and House Veterans Affairs Committee member Nancy Mace. Congresswoman, what do you make of this stall? Do you think that they are able to pass anything in the new year?
No, and when President Biden says that Build Back Better needs more time, what he really means is Build Back Better is dead. This bill will not pass or go anywhere before the end of the year. And looking into 2022 with the midterm elections, I don't see how you move this monstrosity forward. It's not going to cost $1.75 trillion, more like probably $5 trillion. The American people were misled on it. And that's very problematic for the president and for the Senate going forward.
Do you think that it's problematic, though, for Republicans? Because, again, it's all about the politics and the messaging of it as for the left. But because this extra child allowance expires right now, right before the Christmas holidays, so the credit went from $2,000 to now it's $3,000 a year, or $3,600 for children under the age of 6, and families were getting the money delivered to them monthly. That will disappear in the new year, and the Republicans will get blamed for that, won't they?
They will. And the child tax credit is popular. So is 4-year-old pre-K. It's popular with Americans on both sides of the aisle. But this is what happens when you refuse to work together, refuse to reach across aisle to work together, to work for the American people. And I'd like someone to tell me one thing that is better for middle America, for the American people in the last year. Everything costs more. People have great distrust in the government. They distrust the media. They fear vaccine mandates. There's a growing racial divide. These are huge problems that need to be solved, and we can't do that by continuing to have these big bills pushed through without any input from Republicans at all.
And I've said this all along, the Democrats really behaved as if they had a mandate, as if this was, and Kim Strassel writes about this in the Journal today, as if Biden was FDR. Well, Biden did not have the huge Democratic majorities that Franklin Delano Roosevelt did. And Mace Hirono, I mean, she's always great for kind of a idiotic quote. She said yesterday, a 50-50 Senate sucks. One or two people just stop everything. I'm like, well, why did you act like it wasn't a 50-50 Senate all year and tried to push through this, in addition to the $2 trillion spent early this year, the infrastructure bill? Then you were trying to push through a $5 trillion bill when inflation is the highest it's been in 40 years.
Right. It's truly shocking, right? Nancy Pelosi had a 3 or 4 person majority for the most part this year. The Senate was 50-50. There was no mandate for this kind of social welfare or social safety net. So now the chatter is that we see is that Democrats are going to pivot to voting rights. This is an issue that Republicans should embrace because we're not trying to take votes away from Democrats. They want to take voter ID away. They want to take the rights of states. They want to federalize elections. They want to take the constitutional rights of states to determine how to do their elections away from those states. And so it's been one disaster after another, one crisis after another. And you have 20 Democrats that are retiring going into next year. Plus, as you said, they treated this last year like there was a huge Democrat mandate. There was not. There was a mandate to work together. And as a freshman Republican, I worked with Democrats on passing 3 pieces of legislation this past year. I believe it's incumbent upon us, especially during trying times, to do our best to work together. All of us on both sides of the aisle should be doing that right now.
Really quickly, Congresswoman, the Senate parliamentarian has ruled that immigration reform, once again, cannot be included in this welfare monstrosity, this bill. This is the 3rd time it's been rejected. And the plan should have shielded immigrants from deportation, provide work authorization for any immigrant who arrived in the U.S. before 2011. Congresswoman, your thoughts on that before we go?
Well, in addition to that, President Biden was floating around the idea that immigrants and families at the border should get $450,000. That's more than an American soldier's family gets when he's killed in action. Their insurance policy is only $400,000. So really, it's shocking that they think they can shove these things through. They said they're going to fight it tooth and nail, but that's the wrong time and place to be doing this right now.
Congress, and I'll point out the administration has pulled out of those settlement talks with the separated families. We'll see where that goes. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, thank you so much. Great to see you.
Thank you.